In this video, I'm celebrating 50,000 kilometers in this car in the UK. It is my Australian Ford Fairmont. I bought it in New Zealand, shipped it over 4 years ago. How's it going? So I'm afraid you'll have to put up with me having the aircon going a fair bit, but it is quite hot. And I know I've had Australians going, if it's below 26 degrees, the aircon stays off. And I get that. But when I'm driving at 70 miles an hour, it's a lot quieter if I have the aircon on rather than having the windows open. And I suspect better for economy as well. So yeah, let's discuss what life is like with a Ford Fairmont in the UK after 50,000 miles. I think in total I've now done 58,000 kilometers in this car, which is extraordinary. There are not many cars I've done lots of miles in. Ellie the 2CV is one, and I had a Peugeot 306 that I think I put about 50,000 miles on. But otherwise I tend to chop and change so much, or have so many cars where the mileage is spread out, that yeah, it's not always something I do. So this is very unusual. But having driven the Velsatis recently, the Renault Velsatis, it's been very interesting to jump back in this and do some miles. This feels a lot more compact. It kind of feels like a Mondeo that's been stretched width-wise, but the actual driving position is still quite cozy. Everything feels quite close, whereas in the Velsatis, everything is that bit further away. But the main thing that gets me is how smooth this is. That BTR 4-speed transmission, even though it is, 344,000 kilometers old now, assuming it's never been replaced, it is still really smooth. It's sometimes a bit slow and lethargic, but it makes up for it by being so smooth. It never jolts you, unlike a certain Velsatis. In fact, it's very noticeable. If you can put it into drive with nary a whimper, it is very, very well behaved. But yeah, I just really like this car. And even though it isn't dynamically the best, the handling is it doesn't handle nicely. It's kind of similar to the Velsatis in that regard. It'll go around a bend quite quickly, unless it's on Chinese tyres on a wet roundabout soaked in diesel. But yeah, you can't say it's fun to punt it down a twisty road at all. In fact, sometimes it's a bit unsettling. The sheer bulk doesn't help. It feels absolutely enormous, and on the narrow roads that make up most of the roads where we live, it's just terrible. But yeah, I'm just sat here now cruising along. The radio's good. There's a lot here to like, and that's probably why this car is still on the fleet. I just I can't face getting rid of it. It does being a car so well. There's lots of things I'd like to improve. There's some rust above the windscreen. The windscreen itself is quite badly scratched and has a few chips. So I could really do with sourcing a new windscreen and biting the bullet and getting the bodywork done, as finances now start to improve. But and new rear springs would probably be a good idea as well. I wonder if they would change how the car feels if it's a bit less squatty bottom, which she certainly is at the moment. But yeah, every time I drive this car, I kind of have to pinch myself as I remember that this is the car, the very car I drove around most of New Zealand. The very car I took down the Forgotten World Highway when it was still a gravel road at the end. Yeah. And that noise. Not that generally it ever goes above 3,000 revs. It is so lazy. It's got such great torque. It's a very relaxing car to drive. The Renault was actually more willing to rev up, but that's a diesel. And both these engines produce maximum torque around 2,000 revs, about the same point, which is extraordinary, really. This produces slightly less, 375 Newton meters against the Renault's 400. But I think both the Renault and this actually torque limit in the lower gears to save the transmission. That's the feeling I get anyway. But yeah, I just like it. The indicators are in the right place, right hand indicators. Yeah, I like it. And yeah, hopefully I will continue to do so. I know she drinks a lot of fuel, but actually I found My mistake is believing the onboard computer. The onboard computer is a pessimist. Very rare to have that. It gets it wrong the wrong way, if you like, and reckons she's thirstier than she actually is. We've got 28 mpg on the last tank. A lot of motorway on that tank, but it was also a fair few local miles, so I thought that was not too bad at all. Yeah, this is what acceleration's like. We've got up to 2,500 revs, and then the torque converter locks up, and we're wafting. Magnificent. But there have definitely been times over these 50,000 kilometers here in the UK where I've gone, is this really the right choice? And especially when fuel prices went up and fuel was hitting the best part of £2 a litre, this felt like a very bad decision altogether. Number plate on that car next to me, a Volkswagen Polo, is UX1, and it's on quite an old battered Polo. That number plate must be worth an absolute fortune, considerably more than the car, because of the strange way number plates work in this country. But yeah, my history with this car is unmatched, really. Yes, I've done more miles in LE, and I've certainly had my adventures in LE, the 2CV, but I've covered more miles more quickly in this car. I think it's just over 4 years since Betty came into the country now, and I've been averaging over 10,000 kilometers a year. Yeah, there's a reason for that. I really, really like driving her. For this sort of thing, just set the cruise and waft, and it kind of does everything you want of a car as well as you could expect, really, without being quite as complicated as brand new cars are. So yeah, maybe I don't mind paying at the pump a little bit. Well, I've just stopped here in Wales on the way back. We are have we reached the border yet? Yes, I think we've just gone over the border, so we're now back in Ceredigion. And yeah, this is my mighty AU, the Australian Ford Falcon, but it's slightly posher Fairmont phase. So for those who don't know what these cars are, they are developed from the original American Ford Falcon in the 60s, and Ford Australia kept developing the Falcon its own way. The American ones weren't tough enough, weren't robust enough, so they developed these cars in their own way. It has a live rear axle, very well located one, Intec overhead cam engine, so 6-cylinder, and developed from that original Mustang 6. So yeah, it's quite an interesting car, really, but I don't think I ever expected to fall in love quite as much as I have. She's getting scruffy now. There's a few scratches. Some of them are from when I binned this car, just after importing it. I suspect that's where that crack came from. The lacquer on the rear spoiler utterly dead, as it is on the roof. And this is because New Zealand UV is much stronger. You can see the roof rot I was talking about. There's a bit here bubbling up a bit further along, so really the screen needs to come out, that needs to be repaired, but I need a new windscreen to put in. So I welcome your thoughts on where I might acquire one of those. Also still need to buff the headlamps up again as well, but yeah, I just love it. I'll show you a bit more of the interior because I've just been sat in it talking. So there you go. It is very classic Ford, and it's very sort of 1990s Ford, down to the steering wheel, the electric window switch. I might get in the car because it is really windy out here. Oi, there we go. That's a bit better. And there we are, 344,956 kilometers. So we're now technically over 50,000 kilometers. And yes, I apparently need to dust in here again. But the only things that don't work are some of the dash lights have gone. So these don't really light up anymore, but I don't generally use them. So that's fine. Ooh. We've got buzzards fighting just outside my window, and the interior light switch there has never worked, but now also the lights on warning doesn't work either. It was coming on with the ignition, so as soon as you turn the engine off it would do it, but now it doesn't. So that's something, I suppose. This is a delay that I think is meant to let you leave the lights on. That's never worked either, but there we are. That is the Ford AU. Okay, that was weird. I just got stopped by someone from Australia although he sounds very English, who has one of these back home, which is like, I didn't expect to see one of those here. So yeah, anyway, fake wood, we've got this display is, I think it's actually behaving today. Yeah, there we go. Oh no, not quite everything is working, but and that has broken a little bit, but like I say, everything works. The CD player I need to replace. It's got a stacker. Let me remove this out of the way. It's got a stacker in dash thing. They always break, and it's always been broken the whole time I've had it, but I've got a replacement unit to go in. And there's your 4-speed transmission, and it just does everything you want, really. Occasionally I will knock it down to third, but I'm just going to start her up. There we go. We've got the oil pressure building, revs, voltage. So those are our gauges. Yeah, something I love about it, let me move that out of the way as well, is it's just really well thought out. So you have to use the button to get out of park, but then what I tend to do is go down here, and then I know I'm in drive without even looking. That is the absolute bee's knees. And to get to third, I can just bring it down like so. So yeah, really good. Oh, there they go again. The AU fans from Australia. So yeah, never use economy, absolutely no point. Cup holders, we've got absolute rubbish galore in there, and even more in the glove box. Loads of rear leg room, so the hublets absolutely love it, and they love leaving their rubbish in the car. It has been an amazing family vehicle. I may have to work on this camera mount. There's rather a bit too much steering wheel, really. Gonna turn that off. Don't need the aircon going while we've got the windows open. But yeah, I might just have to accelerate again. Yeah, no one coming. Oh, that exhaust. Oh, I love it. But yeah, 4 years ago, this car was in the country, albeit it wasn't yet on the road. She was hiding at up and down videos, Kitch, down there in Hampshire. It just took ages to sort the paperwork out. It's only 21 degrees out, might keep the windows open. And yeah, so she was hiding while we sorted out paperwork and got her road legal. And there was an absolute nightmare when at one point the immobiliser kicked in and we couldn't work out what it was. And Kitch was just like, do you know how to solve this? And I was like, no. And we looked online, and the general advice was to send your car to the Ford dealer. But that would be a Ford dealer in Australia, because it's a completely different system. But thankfully Kitch, being the megastar that he is, managed to sort it all out. And yeah, got her ready, got her MOT'd, and we went and picked her up. And yeah, since then, 50,000 kilometers. What's that? 50 is about 30, is that 36,000 miles? It's quite a lot, but by heck have we bonded. I just jump into this car and it's like your comfy old slippers, and your comfy old slippers might be falling apart a bit, really. They might not be as comfortable as they once were when they were brand new, but there's just something reassuring about them. And I just get in this car and I'm happy. And yeah, it's been mostly trouble-free. The only incident, you can go back and watch this on the video if you're a more recent joiner of the channel. I should literally been on the road less than a month, I think, and I had that incident on a roundabout in Lincolnshire where we ended up coming off the road. Rather alarmingly, the back end just went. And you know, I'm not an idiot. I've driven rear-wheel drive cars. I'd already done 8,000 miles in this car, driving it through New Zealand in some very challenging conditions. And yeah, it just snapped away, and it was absolutely terrifying. And I thought I'd absolutely ruined it. And thankfully I hadn't. It turned out I did bend a half shaft, and I was quite upset about that. But thankfully, I have lovely, lovely friends around the world, including one in Australia, who went immediately to a scrapyard, pulled a half shaft out of a scrap Falcon, and then mailed it to the UK, to my friend Eddie, who had the rather damaged Betty sitting outside his workshop, and he fitted a new half shaft, and I was reunited with the car. But there was an awful moment of like, oh my gosh, I've just spent a fortune bringing this car over from the other side of the world, and I ruined it immediately. That was not good. But aside from transmission leaks, we've battled a bit. I've had leaks at both ends of the prop shaft. Both the seals, either end, have had to be replaced on those. We've gone through the brakes a couple of times, and just done basically oil changes and a few filters. That's kind of all we've done. And I know I can just get in this car, turn the key, and off we'll go. And for fresh adventures. It's astonishing. And yeah, long may it continue. But yeah, this windscreen and roof rot situation is going to have to be dealt with. That is not going to survive another winter, I don't think. But there you are. That's me and Betty. And I do have Betty designs available on the Hubnut store. So if you would like some Betty merch, sorry, noise vibrating off walls. Yeah, head to the Hubnut store. That would, yeah, that would be lovely. Thank you. But otherwise, yeah, there are various support options to support what we do on Hubnut and to keep ridiculous videos coming on ridiculous cars like this. I'm very grateful that through the channel I get the opportunity to do things like go to New Zealand and ship cars home. It's all possible because you watch, so thank you very much. And we shall see you in a future video. I've now got to drive calmly because it's the 30 limit. It has occurred to me that I have two microphones, but this one isn't turned on. So if I turn this one on, it's got a magnet stuck to the back of it. So if I put that on the boot lid, will it sound awesome? Let's try it. Putting my faith in tiny magnets here, but does that work? It's clipping out a little there, I think, judging by my display. Let's go.